Yo, what's up, guys? I got a bunch of player props for you today on PrizePicks, so let's go ahead. Let's just kind of dive into it. And I say this all the time, but there are really two main tools that I use on OddsJam to find value on PrizePicks. So the first one is right here. So this is called the OddsJam screen, right? So currently I have NBA player rebounds pulled up, but if you want to look at NHL shot on goal or whatever you want to look at is right here. And all this tool does is it highlights line movements and shows you where every sportsbook is setting the line. Right? So for example, for Siakam, we can see PrizePicks and Underdog, they have his line at 8.5. All the sports books also have his line at 8.5. Some sports books like Caesars, so you can see Caesars right here, they have the over for Siakam slightly favored, right? The odds are slightly juiced towards the over. So according to Caesars, their model, they're saying Siakam is more likely, slightly more likely, just slight juice towards the over, but Siakam's a little more likely to go over 8.5 rebounds as opposed to under. On FanDuel, the under slightly favored. On DraftKings, they have the exact same odds for the over and the under. But long story short, I'm following the line movements and I'm looking for, major discrepancies. For Siakam, all the books have his line at 8.5. There's not a ton of clear value in the market, so there's no play I want to go with, right? I say this all the time, but as a sharp bettor, you're looking for 5 profitable picks on PrizePicks. Right? 5 flex plays are mathematically optimal. So all you need, out of the tens of thousands of lines on PrizePicks, Underdog, these platforms, all you need is 5 picks on PrizePicks. You're looking for 5 plays with an edge, right? You don't want to bet with your gut. You want to look through the market, right? MLB, NHL, NBA, and hunt for those few rare discrepancies where PrizePicks is screwing up. Right? All these books, they want to set lines independently. They want to be unique. So you're really, as a sharp bettor, looking for those few rare betting opportunities where they're screwing up, where they're offering too much value. So today, I followed the line movements. I didn't see a ton of value on the screen, at least for the NBA. I went through NBA and a little bit of the MLB. Didn't see a ton of value, but I found a lot of value on the second tool that I use. So the second tool I use all the time is called the positive EV tool, the positive expected value betting tool. And all this tool does, so different than the screen, right? With the screen, you're looking for discrepancies, right? Like what we want to see here is imagine if PrizePicks, right, had Siakam's line at 9.5 rebounds. Well, if all the books are at 8.5 rebounds, we have dozens of data points telling us, Siakam's line should be set at 8.5 and PrizePicks were at 9.5. We'd want to take the under, right? PrizePicks would be too high. They'd be a market inefficiency. They'd be too high. Whereas if PrizePicks, let's say, had his line at 7.5, we'd want to take the over, right? PrizePicks is too low, so we found an inefficiency. They're offering too much value on the over because they're setting his line at 7.5 when all the books are at 8.5. So really, you use this tool. It's not going to recommend bets to you, but you're scanning through this tool, just looking for major discrepancies and where are PrizePicks and Underdog setting the odds. So, for Banchero, all books have his line at 8.5. No major discrepancies in the odds. Looks like FanDuel's offering the best odds on the over at plus 108, but no clear value. We don't want to touch it, right? So the second tool I use, again, is called the positive EV tool. So what this tool does is, similar to the screen, it reads in all the data, literally millions of odds from sportsbooks are being processed. And all this tool points out to you is for whatever sportsbooks you select, so you can customize it. Some people will be like, I don't want to bet on baseball. And I think that's crazy because if there's value, if there's a profitable baseball bet, I want to be on it. Right? If there's 5 profitable baseball bets, I'll be betting more on baseball today. Right? If there's more value in the NBA, I'll have more NBA picks for you guys. Like I say this all the time, but I'm just showing you what I'm putting my own personal money on. In PrizePicks, I don't win every day, but following a profitable betting strategy, looking for plays with an edge, we win long term. And sometimes there's more value in the NHL, sometimes more value in the NBA, sometimes more value in the MLB. So we can see the most profitable play, on PrizePicks is right here. Cole Irvin over 3.5 strikeouts. So you can see right here, it's saying PrizePicks 5 or 6 flex, you're getting minus 119 odds, right? And this is really important, right? Because I say this all the time, but on PrizePicks, if you want these results, you can see my 2022, 2023. Again, I'm not claiming I win every day, not claiming it's even, the main part of my sports betting winnings, but PrizePicks is a popular platform, so I've started to do more content on it, but you have to be playing 5 and 6 pick flex plays, right? I see so many people, they start to bet on PrizePicks and they're placing 2 pick power plays, which are horrible, right? And I give this example all the time because it's really important, but on PrizePicks, let's say you can hit your plays, right? So let's say you can select overs and unders correctly 57% of the time. So you're right 57% of the time, you're wrong 43% of the time. Right? That sounds pretty good, right? If you can be correct on your over-unders 57% of the time, right? That seems pretty good, 57%. But this is what's crazy, is in a 5 flex, you're going to be really profitable. Your ROI long-term is going to be 19.25%, right? Long story short, if you're hitting all your over-unders 57% of the time correctly, if you look back after a year and you placed a bunch of bets on PrizePicks, this is going to be roughly your ROI. Maybe a little bit of differences due to variance, but it's going to be roughly 20%. Pretty good. Whereas if you're playing 2-pick power plays and you're hitting your plays 57% of the time, your ROI is negative 2.53%. You're getting killed. And you're winning your plays the same proportion of the time. So I say this all the time, but like if you want to make money on PrizePicks, you have to be playing 5 and 6 flex. And I'm not saying this just because like they have higher payouts. This is literally, the spreadsheet's in the description. It literally just breaks down PrizePicks payouts and shows you what percentage of your plays you need to win and what your ROI is going to be. So you can mess with, this spreadsheet if you want to. You can play with it. You can go through the math yourself. But long story short, this is the number we care about. We want picks that are winning at the highest possible rate on PrizePicks, right? We want this number, our win probability for our picks, to be as high as possible. So what the EV tool shows you is quite simple. It just shows you the plays that are winning at the highest possible rate. So we can see that top profit margin play, there's a ton of value on PrizePicks on the EV tool. So I didn't find a ton of value, on the screen today. But again, there's a lot of value on the EV tool, and I'm just following the value. So we can see the top play is right here. Cole Irvin, over 3.5 strikeouts, 2.84% profit margin on this play. So the first thing I want to mention is a lot of people will be like, that doesn't seem that great, 2.84%. But what you have to remember in sports betting is this game is today, right? This game starts in a few hours. 2.84%, right? So this is your ROI, your profit margin, your edge, whatever you want to call it. There are different words for it. And, OddsJam will automatically sort by default to show you the highest profit margin plays first. You can sort by date and stuff like that, but typically I just want to see the highest profit margin plays, which is Cole Irvin, over 3.5 strikeouts. The bet in bold, highlighted in green. And what you have to remember, right, is if you're earning 3% on your bets and you're betting every single day, that's 90% in a month. Because in general, sometimes it's different in football and soccer, stuff like that. But in general, you're betting on games that are that day, right? So if you have a 3% edge, right, you're going to earn a 3% ROI roughly daily. 3% a day is 90% a month, 30 days in a month. 3% a day, 90% a month, because there's 30 days in a month. So if you're betting $1,000, let's say a day on PrizePicks, and your ROI is 3%, right? 3% times 30, 90% ROI in a month. If you're betting $1,000 a day, you're expecting to be up roughly $900 in profit. 90% times $1,000 bet per day, $900 in profit. And that's basically, what I've showed over and over in my sports betting every single day, no days off, is if you can earn 4% a day, just find plays with a 4% edge, it can stack up to a lot of money over the course of the year because these returns are daily, right? These returns are every single day, which is what makes sports betting so lucrative and got me so excited about it at first, right? 3% a day, 90% a month. So why is this play so profitable, right? And honestly, it's really just logic. So if you look here, you can see all of the sports books have Cole Irvin over 3.5 strikeouts as the heavy favorite, right? All these books set lines independently. So essentially you have dozens of data points telling you where this line should be set. So FanDuel has his over at minus 144. Caesars is at minus 158. DraftKings is at minus 160. BetRivers minus 139. Bet Online minus 132, Fliff minus 165. So these aren't sports books, right? No House Advantage, Underdog. These are fantasy companies. But if we just look at the sports books, you can see every single sports book has Cole Irvin over 3.5 Ks as the heavy favorite, right? Which means it's going to be winning more often than the under. So this is, kind of maybe confusing to new sports bettors, but what you have to realize is sports books, right, they imply win probabilities through their odds. So what I mean by that is, right, if we look at March Madness, you can see here, Connecticut is a minus 333 favorite, right? So sportsbooks are telling you Connecticut is a lot more likely to win this game than San Diego State, right? They're a 3-1 favorite. They're roughly 75% to win this game. Minus 300, betting 300 to win 100. So sportsbooks are telling you through their odds, right? This is a market that that Connecticut is a lot more likely to win this game. And again, you're never going to get a perfect answer as to what should the exact odds be on Connecticut, what's the exact win probability, for Connecticut. But you look through all these sports books, who have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in their ability to set lines, price games. Their models are better than yours. Their data feeds are better than yours. It's just, a matter of a fact. And they're all telling you Connecticut's a really heavy favorite, right? Lines are super juiced towards Connecticut, towards UConn. UConn's a lot more likely to win. And it's the same thing here, right? We have dozens of sports books. This is just the sports books in New York, but across the market, there's dozens of sports books posting odds on Cole Irvin over 3.5 strikeouts, and every single one has his over heavily favored, right? FanDuel has it minus 144, Caesars minus 158, DraftKings minus 160, right? And this is the number we're optimizing for on PrizePicks. We want plays with the highest possible win probability, right? We want this number as high as possible. If we're winning our plays on PrizePicks 56% of the time, our 5 flex ROI is going to be 12%. So the easiest way to find an edge or an advantage on PrizePicks is you compare their lines to those on the sports books and look for spots where sports books have an over or an under, right? Or an under really heavily favored. And you can see that's the case right here with Cole Irvin. All the sports books are telling you, yeah, his over is really heavily favored. Then we can go to Desmond Bain. Right here for Desmond Bain, all the sports books are telling you is under 4.5 assists is really heavily favored. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6, 7. Here we can see Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world. 8, 9. You have 9 sports books all posting odds on Desmond Bain under 4.5 assists in New York, and every single one has his under heavily favored. You're not smarter than the sports books. You're not smarter than the market, right? FanDuel has literally invested hundreds of millions of dollars. They have hundreds of employees making the best software to, tell you the win probability for bets and set odds appropriately in all these sports books, right? It's not just like you have one data point. You have tons of data points all telling you Desmond Bain under 4.5 assists is the heavy favorite, right? And again, if you don't care about the math, you're literally just hitting the bet in bold, highlighted in green on OddsJam. Gonzalez under 3.5 Ks. Dorian Finney-Smith under 5.5 rebounds. Desmond Bain under 4.5 assists. Cole Irvin over 3.5 strikeouts, right? And we can go a bit deeper into this math, but essentially the point is you're not smarter than the market. And what I mean by that is some people will be like, oh, how do you know sportsbooks are right? Well, if sportsbooks weren't right, let's say Desmond Bain's over is actually more likely than his under. Every sharp bettor, every sports betting syndicate, if sports bettors believed that his over was more likely to hit, every single sports bettor in the world, if we knew Desmond Bain's over was a lot more likely to hit, so let's say 55% to hit, we would be hammering these plays at plus money, right? If we were getting plus 115, you can get Desmond Bain plus 115, and we knew this play was over 50% to hit, we would be hammering that, right? So every sharp bettor would be hammering his over 4.5 if the over was actually more likely, right? And then sportsbooks would adjust odds appropriately. So long story short, if you're not following the market, if you don't believe sportsbook odds are, efficient, or you don't believe sportsbook odds are indicative of win probability, you're essentially saying you think you're smarter than every sports bettor, right? Like, you literally think you're smarter than the entire market, every sports bettor, every sports betting syndicate, all the sharp bettors with models. If you're betting Desmond Bain, if you think Desmond Bain over 4.5 assists is more likely, you think you're smarter than the market. And you think you're smarter than the sports books, which is crazy, right? And that's how recreational bettors think, right? They think they're smarter than the market. They think they're smarter, than the sports books and their really complicated models. And it's just not true, right? People who bet with their gut, they don't make money. You should be using the sportsbook odds to find an advantage, and you should be looking for inefficiencies in the market. And here you can see, the top play on PrizePicks is Cole Irvin over 3.5 strikeouts. I'm not picking this because I know anything about Cole Irvin. I don't know anything about this guy, right? It doesn't matter because I have dozens of data points telling me Cole Irvin's over is a lot more likely to hit than his under. And you can kind of quantify this, mathematically. So I've explained this before, but this is called a no-vig fair odds calculator. It's the most important calculator on OddsJam. I'll put my email in the description. So I really recommend you read through all this text. You try to understand it. You can email me questions. But essentially, we've said this before, like sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds. So you can see Bet Online, they're giving you San Diego State money line at plus 330, and they have Connecticut money line at minus 410, right? That's the odds on Bet Online. So Connecticut is a really heavy favorite, right? But you can quantify that, right? So essentially what Bet Online is saying is according to their models, right? According to Bet Online's models, San Diego State, the underdog, is 22.44% to win this game. And the favored team, UConn, is 77.56% to win this game. So UConn is the heavy favorite, and we can quantify that, 77.56%. Now it's the same thing here, right? So if we go back to this play on Desmond Bane, so let me open this up quickly. You can see Pinnacle, which is known to be the sharpest bookmaker. So obviously, Desmond Bane's under, it's only juiced to minus 150 on Pinnacle. So it's not going to have a 77% win probability, right? Minus 410 means roughly a 77% win probability. When we're talking about Desmond Bane, it's only minus 150, right? If we were able to find spots on PrizePicks, that we're winning 77.56% of the time, our ROI would be literally insane. It would be 271%. So that's not even possible, right? That's like if you were able to bet, Connecticut money line in your 5 flex. That'd be crazy. But here you can see Pinnacle. They have the over at plus 113, right? And they have the under at minus 150. So the under is the favored outcome, and it's 56.1% to occur. So based on their market, and we have videos about no vig odds. I really recommend you understand this before, you bet on any sportsbook, not just PrizePicks. But if you put in Pinnacle's market, their market is saying, Bane's under is 56.1% to occur, and his over is 43.9% to occur. So if you put in 56.1, you're going to see, okay, this play, if all our plays in a 5 flex were winning 56.1% of the time, our ROI would be 12.7%. Pretty good, right? So again, you're looking for spots on PrizePicks if you want to beat PrizePicks long term, right? And this is what's crazy about PrizePicks. They don't vary your payouts, right? Depending on if you select overs or unders. That's not the way this platform works, right? They don't vary your payouts. So any 3-pick power play, you're getting a 5x payout. Doesn't matter if you switch from overs to unders. It doesn't matter if you put in a different pick. It's always a 5x payout for a 3-pick power play, right? PrizePicks is always, so there's no advantage to selecting overs or unders on PrizePicks. It doesn't change your payout, right? It's not changing your payout. So what you're looking for is spots where sportsbooks, and this is just rational. This should just make sense. You're looking for spots where sportsbooks have an under really heavily favored, right? Or an over really heavily favored. So in this case, it was Irvin over, and here it's Bane under. So you're looking for spots where sportsbooks have one side really heavily favored. And in this case, it's Bane under. And again, OddsJam is scanning, all of these lines on PrizePicks, all of these lines on sportsbooks, Bovada, Bet Online, Fliff, all these different other books to show you those spots where sportsbooks have an under or an over really heavily favored, and you can still get that play on PrizePicks. So again, it's not like PrizePicks screws up that often, right? You have to remember, PrizePicks has, if you look through their site, they have tens of thousands of lines. But we just need 5 plays, right? Out of the tens of thousands of lines on PrizePicks, we just need 5 picks to form a profitable entry. We just need 5 places where they're screwing up. So you just use the EV tool and you find those 5 spots where they're screwing up, right? So here it's Bane under 4.5 assists, Cole Irvin over 3.5 strikeouts, Finney Smith under 5.5 rebounds, OG Anunoby under 4.5 rebounds, Chris Paul under 4.5 rebounds, Mitchell Robinson under 9.5 rebounds, Embiid under 10.5 rebounds. So again, the profit margins are getting slightly lower. But regardless, not every play is going to be as great as this Bane play, right? 2.5% profit margin is really good. So long story short, here's what I ended up going with. Literally every play from the EV tool. So this is a 6 flex, 400 to win 10 grand if everyone is right. All unders. Bane under 4.5 assists, Finney Smith under 5.5 rebounds, Anunoby under 4.5 rebounds, CP3 under 4.5 rebounds, Mitchell Robinson under 9.5 rebounds, Embiid under 10.5. Then you can see this is a 5 flex. I just removed the Embiid leg. And then finally, I have a final play where I removed Mitchell Robinson and stuck in that baseball play, Cole Irvin over 3.5 strikeouts. So a bunch of player props on PrizePicks. This was a strategy video. Hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully it kind of explained the math, the strategy, everything like that. And any questions you have, again, my email's in the description. Literally just taking all these plays from the EV tool. And I say this all the time, but there aren't only profitable plays on PrizePicks, right? You can use the EV tool to find value. You can actually see the top profit margin plays on PointsBet. So if you take a look here, you can get DeLon Wright over 5.5 assists at plus 150 on PointsBet. Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker, has this at minus 101 odds. Most books aren't even offering this better than, plus 110. And we're getting plus 150 on PointsBet. So again, the value's not only on PrizePicks. I'm just focusing on PrizePicks because it's one of the most popular books. You can see there's value on BetRivers. There's value on Jock Market, a PrizePicks competitor. So this is really why you want multiple sports books, right? More sports books means more profitable betting opportunities because all these books set lines independently. Here, parlay play screwing up. Here's some value on BetRivers, yada, yada, yada. So hopefully this video was helpful. Any questions you have, don't hesitate to reach out. Let's make money.